We all know that the illegal immigrants claim an asylum once they reach the shores of the UK by small boats from France. So I've no need to mention the numbers nor where they're staying. We've already spoken about that in previous podcasts.
Yeah.
And we do also know that 1 in 12 residents in London is an illegal immigrant, either overstaying with the work visa or student visa. So I won't even be going into more detail about that. But here we go with the kicker. Here we are. At least 50 relatives of asylum seekers are arriving in the UK legally every single day, with the numbers trebling in a year. Just over 19,000 women and children, mainly, last year up to September. They don't have to speak English, have immediate access to the NHS, which is already buckling under this strain. Most are from Syria, Sudan, Eritrea, Iran, and Afghanistan. There was a political voice opposing this from a Reform MP, but his words seem to have landed on deaf ears. Alp Mehmet, chairman of Migrant Watch, said that the numbers are worrying. Those granted asylum, joined by their families, will be housed if they have children under 18 years of age. That's the law. Add this to benefits, schooling, medical, and dental treatment, we can understand the frustration of people already on the waiting list for social housing and NHS treatment. It's being said that the population of the UK is increasing the most in Europe, but it isn't increasing with native English people. It's the influx of the visitors who are making up the numbers. So let me explain. The law in the UK is that if you're an asylum seeker or you have permission to stay as a protected measure, which most of these illegal immigrants do have, which is why they're in the UK. They haven't been
Yeah.
deported. Right? They have the right of their family members to join them
Mm.
because of human rights, and of course they are doing, and they're coming across quite legally, and they're coming across just saying I'm their spouse. These are his kids.
Yeah.
Of course, they've got to be in this stable
Union.
union
Union. Yeah.
before the people made their journey
Yeah.
to the UK.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
basically, for those people who were in the UK who were shouting murder because of the boat people, the people going across by boat, now they've got an extra thing to scream about because apparently, if you're one person in the boat, you can bring 5 or 6 people with you a little bit further along the road, which of course makes the UK an extra magnet
Mm.
for
Yeah.
these people to make the journey in the first place.
Mm.
It might not be that they themselves are just wanting to work, and then sending the money home to the family. They just bring the family with them, you know, after gone through the process a little bit, then the family can join them
Yeah.
and get housing and schooling and healthcare and
Yeah.
dental.
Yeah.
And whoever knows, a few bob on the old rock and roll, as they call it. They used to call it anyway.
Yeah.
So there you are. That's the situation in the UK.
Mm.
Lovely. Away you go. It's short
Well,
and sweet, that one.
I'm going to not turn it on its head. I'm going to turn it. It's ask this question to anyone that can answer me this. Okay, I'm a British citizen. Yeah, obviously, I'm British. I have a passport. Doesn't mean anything. I'm a British citizen. Period. Doesn't matter. I don't need a passport to be a British citizen. Okay. I'm married to a Brazilian who isn't British. Yeah, lived in England for a time, had leave to remain, etc. Okay, we moved to Brazil so many years ago. Yeah, the leave to remain has rightly so expired because she hasn't lived in the UK for so long. Yeah, There might be other things around this. So I know she went on a holiday a few years ago, etc. Um, Now, say like I now want to move back to the UK for any reason, job, just feel like moving back. Yeah, I miss the cold weather, whatever reasons. Yeah, uh, I don't, by the way. Yeah, I want to visit all the historical places I didn't visit before, which is the only good reason I can think I'd want to visit the UK. Then, you know, how do I stand if I say like, well, yeah, I want to bring my wife. Yeah, yeah, my daughter or my offspring are already British nationals already, so they can come and go as they please. Yeah. If I want to bring my wife back, what would be the process for that? Can I just show up at immigration, say this is my wife, in we go? I don't think so. I have to prove that I can actually keep her. Yeah. Despite her living there before, etc., etc. As I understand the rules. Yeah. Um, yeah. Now, yeah, well, I was having a joke with my wife one day. She said, "Well, if we do want to go back, we're not seriously talking about it, but it's just a bit of banter we had, you know." I said, "Well, go to Calais, jump on a boat, and go in that way." Yeah, famous Asylum from Brazil. I don't know. Yeah, um, yeah, I feel quite safe here personally as an outsider. But it's a that is my question. So, how do these people manage it? If you're like, okay, I'm in a stable union. Okay, these people in a stable union, but if they're not, what do they call it? In the UK, yeah, if they're not registered properly or certified or anything else, I don't see how that's possible. Um, it strikes me there's a bit of rigging of the system somewhere. I don't know the law. I've gone into it as regards to my wife. Um, I mean, I am considering writing to my local politician in the UK and asking him the question: if I wish to do this, will he support me? And I think that answer will be very, very interesting. Yeah. Funny enough, it did come up earlier this week anyway, for a different matter. But yeah, it's um, so yeah, potentially, yeah, I could end up with a separated family. Yeah, like these people are claiming. That's my only question. I mean, um, yeah, obviously, I'm concerned about the immigration issue. Uncontrolled immigration is what we always said. Nobody is saying that nobody of a different ethnicity. I hate the term race, as I've explained before. I say that's ethnicity. Um, shouldn't be allowed to enter the UK for good reasons. Okay, it could be genuine asylum. It could also be, yeah, to work, to contribute to society, literally contribute. If the whole thing, if you are a doctor, although I have this thing about doctors, an Afghani doctor probably does more good in Afghanistan than they do in the UK. Yeah, etc. Yeah.
Just to rub a little bit of salt in.
Okay, go for it.
Yesterday, Rachel,
Mm.
uh, our age,
Oh yeah, one for the
she
counts.
started, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, she's got a job in accounts.
yeah.
She said yesterday that she wants to reduce the number of immigrants coming into the UK.
Excellent. Yeah,
This with this hand.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
With
yeah.
this hand, she's raising the number of visas available for people for work visas, but for high-end work visas, of course,
Yeah, okay.
high-end work visas. So the argument of um, a low-grade person,
Mm,
a work person, yeah, let's say, a manual worker in the UK, saying that these immigrants are coming across and taking all our jobs,
mm.
which it could be true, could not be true. You
Well,
never
okay,
know.
yeah. I mean,
But all of a sudden, you're going to get scientists and accountants saying exactly the same thing because she's only going to be letting people on a higher work status, if you like, higher qualified status,
yeah.
come in,
Well,
but raising the number of visas available.
well, my argument against that, and it's long-termism, okay, unless there is another agenda involved in this. Okay. I used to attend a technical college in my hometown in the UK. That closed. That was a wonderful college. It was old. It was 1960s. It, yeah, could have probably, they did some of it up, but I didn't mind that some of the paint was peeling and all that. Didn't matter to me, you know. It provided good facilities to learning. It got torn down. The whole place became a university, as far as I can tell, for philosophy and media. Yeah. Um, yeah, possibly for some clothes designing and things. I don't know. But yeah, so lost that skill. Now we lost that base skill. Okay. That wasn't going to produce doctors and all that. But it would have produced engineers on that level and scientists, etc. Yeah. It was a technical college. Okay. So there. You could go from there, you could leave school at 16, go here, go into university. Yeah. My question is, why aren't we training, or why isn't the UK, and I'd ask this about, and Brazil have had a good policy actually of trying to educate their own people for less reliance on outside. And this one, it's actually one, I believe it's actually a policy that was invented by the previous administrations that I may not have always agreed with, but I agreed with this. Yeah. Giving people opportunities without the requirement of having to go outside. Yes, there were some strange things happening in the medical world. Um, you know, and I don't think there's any long-term thinking. We've got to be developing our own. Yeah.
It's the same as British industry.
Mm,
British industry has been closed down,
mm,
and the UK has been importing what they
yeah.
need from China and from abroad, from India and places like that.
Yeah.
So, steelworks closed down.
Mm.
So the UK is importing steel from abroad
Yeah.
because it's easier. It's doing what they did in the US
Yeah.
uh, years and years ago,
Mm,
where the US also exported all their manufacturing industries.
yeah.
And now that Trump's got back in office, he's saying no, it's gonna
Yeah.
come back. He's realised the error of the ways of the US,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, the UK hasn't caught up just yet.
Well, it's difficult to bring it back. I mean, the US had a lot of private research and development, etc., that was still continuing. Yeah, I mean, they have a slightly different system there as well. But yeah, effectively, and um, this is where I'm going to say something a bit controversial. And I mean, it's happened over. Yeah, we got off a little bit the topic of immigration, but it's still related to it.
Not related to it.
Yeah, where people have now been going on about yeah, the search engine, the chat GPT, yeah, the development. The Chinese have been very, very clever in what they've done. They are using, yeah, the trouble is, yeah, they inwardly looked and trained people. Life in China probably isn't great. Okay, if you live in China mainly for the most of the population, it probably isn't great. But yeah, I'm not justifying anything I don't know. Don't know many people on the ground there, but yeah, they are they industrial themselves. They train their own people. Yeah, okay, you've got to be subservient to the party, etc. Yeah, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but yeah, they develop their internal thinking with their development, with their skills base. They might steal a lot of things from overseas, ideas. Yeah. I mean, or still not steal so much as research. I can go and buy a PC in London, probably ship it back to China one way or another, open it up and see what it
Same,
is. Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. China do not create their own in their own products. They
No.
copy the
Well,
products for the people, and then they just make them cheaper and then
well, that's it. But
sell
yeah,
them back,
okay.
sell
Yeah.
them back onto the market.
Yeah, but
This year is Chinese.
yeah,
Oop, this here is Chinese.
yes,
Um, they didn't invent it,
no, but
right?
it, it,
Nokia from Sweden invented
yeah,
this.
yeah,
But
that's it.
the Chinese got hold of it and they're selling it back to us at a fraction of the price.
Well, again, yeah, I mean, it's the old thing. You find a market that's there, yeah, and then they've got the resources, and I include people and resources to do that. I'm not saying, Chinese workers have a great deal or anything else. I'm not suggesting that. But
China at 1 bill, almost 1.5 billion inhabitants.
yeah,
There's a market for everything in China.
yeah. Well, they've
You
got,
know, well, if a city complains that there's a cold epidemic, that's millions of people with a cold.
yeah, yeah,
It's not just like a couple of hundred.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so, there's always going to be a market internal market in China.
yeah. But I mean,
But
you need,
but when China copy what it is, of
yeah.
course, the whole world is their market these days,
Well, but
simply because of the price.
yeah, they've found a market. They've found a market for us. And what happens? Yeah, they adapt to that market. They don't expect the market to adapt to them. I'm not saying it's right. And yes, we all know that that's been going on. The Japanese used to do it as well, to a point. They used to steal ideas and do it. I know it's controversial, but I watched a documentary many years ago on British television about this. Yeah. Um, but yeah, okay, it's innovation. It's, as somebody once said, you don't create something, you just improve it. And you could say reducing the price. I'm going to be honest. I read Alan, well, Alan Sugar's biography, and just changing it. Yeah, you look at a product that's already there and you see how you can produce it cheaper, which he did. And okay, he did manufacture a lot of his stuff in China as well. Yeah, he was quite impressed with them from reading the book. Like a lot of people that visit China to see how their industry works are quite impressed with it. If you ignore social issues, yeah, it's great. Yeah. Um, which is again, actually, I've just thought of this. Social issues. We're going to be overcrowded in the UK, as you just sort of said. You bring in younger people, kids, and you've got to school them, look after everybody's health and other issues, take them forward. You can't let them starve. Well,
Thing is, as I see it from the outside, looking in as we do,
yeah.
right? The UK is not growing; it's
Well, we
getting
know.
bloated,
Yeah,
and
that's exactly. Yeah, I
that's a
mean,
big difference. It's getting bloated. So what happens is, if it was growing, then there'd be more schools, there would be more
mm,
hospitals, there'd be more of everything,
mm,
and the system would be able to cope. But
mm,
unfortunately, the schools remain the same.
mm.
The hospitals that Boris Johnson promised to make didn't
Well,
materialise.
we all knew that. Yeah,
Right, well, of course, well, that's because he
yeah.
said it, and of course the population's different,
Well,
and so it's becoming bloated.
yeah. I mean, and I'm going to say this. Okay. Um, yeah, you bring a workforce in. They did it in the 1950s, brought additional workforce in because they feared that there wouldn't be enough workers for all the jobs, whatever category of jobs you're talking about. Yeah. Um, we all know that in the UK, yes, there are people sitting at home who don't want to do a job, who quite happily take state benefit. Yeah. Now I'm looking at it this way as well. The other thing I will say about a lot of immigrant families into the UK, and I'm making a point here, they go there, they set up a shop, for instance, example, yeah, a general grocery shop, whatever you want to call it, yeah. The whole family participates in it, yeah. It is a family business, and they all get involved. And we see this in Brazil, that one member of a family sets up a shop, and nobody else, the other members of the family, don't offer to go and help, yeah. Even when it's failing, yeah, flailing, yeah. Um, whereas in there, the whole family and the children are expected to support the parents, whether or not they want a career being a shopkeeper or not. It's not really up to a choice. They go home from school, they do their homework, then they're helping lift crates of things. Yeah. That's one compliment I will have. So when people say these immigrants are taking our jobs, no, they're creating their own. Um, a lot of them are very patriotic, actually. A lot of these people that have shops and all that are very, very patriotic towards the British way of life that has enabled them to do it. Yeah. You go in there at Christmas, they've got Christmas decorations up. They're not objecting to it all. They quite like it. Colourful. It doesn't mean anything to them directly.
They
Yeah.
need to for the commercial aspect of
Well,
the
okay. But even that is participating in British society. Yeah. Or in the country, their adopted country society. And don't forget, when you see there's a royal parade and all that, these people are the ones up there with the Union flags. They don't feel
They're
embarrassed.
normally the ones on the side of the street selling the Union flags.
Well, exactly. But again, contributing, I suppose you could argue.
Imported from guess
From
where?
China. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, you can throw a spanner in all, yeah, throw a rock at all my things, but you know what I'm saying. If you go to the UK, you can contribute, great, but we should be looking internally, and it's getting back to almost the Kennedy statement. Ask not what the UK can do for you. Ask what you can do for the UK. We don't even live in our country of origin. We look to how we can contribute to it. Yeah, you've done strange things here. I do my own work here. We contribute. Um, okay, it's not always easy. We don't get any handout from the government at all, even though we're married to, well, I was married to a Brazilian national. I don't get any help. Yeah, my Brazilian national partner, spouse, okay, my wife, is expected to ensure that she can support me. Yeah, I'm allowed to work here. Yeah, and pay taxes. I'm not allowed to claim benefits. I'm not a Brazilian national. I'm entitled to healthcare, basic healthcare. Yeah, yeah, I can go to the local health centre, public health centre, and have treatment. Walk in there and be seen to. They won't let me die, and I have a card that says that as well. By the way, yeah. Um, or I can choose to go private as well if I've got the funds to just go to a local private clinic, same doctors, same people, doing a different shift. Yeah. Okay. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty much on my own. I don't get any hands out from the government. I have to obey all the rules here as well. Yeah. Um, if I walk down the street and I do something, or a policeman sees me do something, drive an offence, I'm still expected to comply with everything. Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing that the police here can also stop you for any reason.
Mm. Yeah.
You don't even need to be seen to be doing something.
Mm.
Just hey, you here now.
Yeah. I mean, I have been,
But of course, the police here are armed, so
yeah,
the
yeah,
tendency is to stop, go there, and that's what he wants,
yeah. And what was it one day? We got stopped by a policeman,
and
and
and call him sir.
yeah, yeah. I'm always very respectful. I even smile to the policeman. I walk past them if I can. They give me that, and they look at me. I look a bit different as a gringo. I
Yeah,
just acknowledge they do a difficult job here.
of course.
I mean, when we talk about difficult job, I mean, whatever you might be think about things socially, sometimes they have to deal with some quite horrendous things. Okay, there's some good police and some bad police. There's in betweens, but yeah, they go out of the yeah. One of relatives of mine have been police here have been police, and literally they say goodbye to their family when they go out on their shift. They don't know if they're going to come back. Sometimes, yeah. And there's been times where they don't tell the wife or sometimes the husband or the rest of the family that they didn't nearly come back that day. Yeah. Yeah. A bullet's gone past them like that. I mean, this is it. Okay. But getting back to the original discussion, I think immigration is, of course, immigration is good. It brings in other ideas. It mixes up the gene pool a bit. Um, and yeah, it exchanges ideas sometimes. I've got no objection. I'm a Catholic Christian. Again, in the UK today, there's now an issue between Christians. What's an Anglican Catholic and what's a Catholic, etc. Yeah. Um, okay, I'm a Roman Catholic. I don't like the term Roman Catholic. I'm a Catholic. But I don't care if somebody's Jewish, Islamic, can even be an atheist. If you're contributing, I'll work with you. You're contributing to society. Great. Yeah. If you're not causing problems, if you're accepting in context your faith, your religion, your lifestyle in the context of the country, great. Yeah. Um, I think that's important. I think controlled immigration is important. Every country has a right to decide who is a suitable person to be there or not. As a Christian, could I move to a lot of Middle Eastern countries and practice my faith? However, I practice my faith. That's debatable. Yeah. Can I go and pray? Can I go and say a prayer in the middle of the street, a Christian prayer in the middle of the street in some countries? No, I can't. Can't even do that in the UK anymore because I might offend someone. Yeah. Um, I do think we've got to stop putting out the red carpet. When I say putting out the red carpet, yes, we've got to make it a bit difficult for people to come because I had to pay to come and live in Brazil. Yeah. I wanted to go to Australia, but we came to Brazil. I had to pay the consulate, or they had to pay the Brazilian government to process me, get everything right. Yeah. I had to prove I was a good person. I had to show my police record or get a police record done. Yeah. To give to the consulate. Um, and then when I'm here, the process was I had to put my fingerprints to the federal police and have everything processed by the federal police. And I have to here carry an identity card, like any other citizen does here, to say that I am. We have a slightly different card from the rest of the population. Yeah. Um, I had to keep renewing it. If a policeman stops me, I have to show my ID card. Yeah.
The in the UK, the government knows where the illegal immigrants are.
Mm.
It's just that it chooses not to do anything about it. Like I said, 1 in 12
Mm.
residents
Mm.
in London are illegal immigrants,
Mm.
and they all get their electricity bill, and they all get the water rates, and they all get their, of course, they don't get a polling card, not yet, not just yet. But so the government know where they are. It's just they choose not to round them up. So would it be that one day the UK will do what they're doing in the US now,
Well,
where if you've got an illegal immigrant who's been a criminal,
yeah,
get them, throw them out, get them, throw them out. Done the time, doesn't matter. Get them, throw them
yeah,
out.
yeah. They've proved they're not a suitable person. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's, yes, I could like you apply to be a citizen here and everything, but yeah, yeah, it's, well, even if you are granted citizenship, they can revoke that as well, I believe, as
yeah, of
well if
course.
it's, yeah. We are here at the government sufferance in
They
Brazil.
did that. We did that with the girl in the refugee camp
Mm.
in wherever it was in the Middle East,
Mm.
where she ran away. She
Oh
wasn't.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Take up, yeah. So
okay.
it's a privilege to belong to a country. Yeah, it's
But will they? That is the thing. Will they? And I don't think they will. And I'll tell you something else. I don't think they're saying, they want to reduce the number of illegal immigrants coming across. I think they've lost control.
like
It isn't that they have lost control
uh,
because
mm,
that each government have been saying the same thing,
mm.
singing off the same hymn sheet, and they've just lost control.
Well, yeah,
And it's just now that people like at Migrant Watch and
yeah,
they're beginning to notice, how the system is becoming to burst at the seams.
yeah,
And then what will the government do?
yeah. It's, well, it's burst. Let's be honest about that. They've got problems. Um, I'm not suggesting everyone that comes over isn't a justified call. Okay, I'm going to walk the middle ground here. Maybe there are justified people. I don't believe the world is so bad. But the trouble is, when they get here, they say how bad and racist it is. Well, if it's bad and racist
That's to control the English population, sir.
yeah, I know exactly what that is about. Now there's a video going online that I saw this morning that I don't share everything because although I'm here, I don't want things can be taken out of context and used by people on both sides for nefarious reasons. Of a woman explaining to a Muslim why the population are getting quite upset. Yeah. Um, Disregards what you consider Europe to be and what going back. This guy said, well, Roman Europe was different from this now. It doesn't matter. We've got to talk in our modern context, what we consider European, yeah, and then what we consider British, etc. And like I said, we've all worked and met with people in the UK who weren't even born there are very, more patriotic sometimes than possibly even myself, to see the positivities of the way the British do things, or did. I don't know. I haven't been there for 10 years. Um, yeah, okay. There's been some recent things going on. So I'm not suggesting that every single person that comes to the UK is bad, but you have to control it. We have to, you can, we are entitled, you should be entitled to screen it. Um, you could possibly start controlling what comes across the English Channel. We've done it for centuries before. We managed to stop other things coming in far more. Yeah.
That's what
Uh,
Lord Nelson was about.
well, yeah, okay. Well, Nelson had tactics here, but it's specific the way, yeah, his tactics would, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, the Drake was actually overblown as well. His victory, although he did do drop to contribute, was stopping the Spanish Armada. Yeah, actually, some of the Spanish and the Portuguese ended up in Ireland. That's another
Well,
story.
anyway,
Yeah,
that's the situation in the
yeah.
UK.